I'm Jyoti Guha. I'm the principal of a school called Prijatelji in Delhi, in India. The school is from pre-nursery to grade 12, which is 2.5 years of age for children, going up to the age of 18. Now, the school is slightly different from the regular schools in India. It is not a mainstream school. It's a school which believes in alternate way of education. It's a progressive school where there is a lot of emphasis on the learner, that the child is willing to absorb the information, to understand what is happening around him, and to basically provide him with an environment where it's conducive to learning. So typically in a classroom, the teacher controls the environment, but in Prijatelji, the teacher is just a facilitator. Facilitator, when I say facilitator, what I mean is that the teacher, the mentor, the facilitator is just providing an environment where children are open to learning and picking up from the environment and stay with the curiosity. Now, when one is trying to achieve that, we also need to have the right kind of balance in school. To achieve this, we follow approach to yoga. Yoga is part of our curriculum. And when I say yoga is part of our curriculum, it means that it is not only asanas. For us, yoga is a way of life. I'll describe a typical day at Prijatelji. We start the morning with children across coming and sitting in a circle and meditating to some soft piece of music, shutting their eyes. We do this to bring that balance in them where they can start the day at a positive note, with a centered approach basically. And even the facilitator is part of this circle, and after we finish with this, they talk about their day, how the previous evening was and what they are going to do during the day. Now this brings about the center. After this, the children it's mandatory for them to go out for about 45 minutes. They spend outdoors basically exploring, and then there is a specific time for them as part of the timetable to spend on yoga. This is where they learn the asanas. Now the asanas help in more than many ways. It helps them to focus better, to have a better concentration, to have a perfect balance, and to understand the importance of coping with day-to-day living and day-to-day stress. My curriculum is based on 5 levels of consciousness basically, starting with the physical, emotional, educating the mind, the psychic, and the spiritual. So children, when I say physical is not just how fast you can run or how you can balance yourself or how you can concentrate. It's just not that. It's also how you are as a person. So how do you walk? How do you present yourself? How do you sit in the chair? So all these things require a certain amount of alignment, and that is possible only through yoga. There has to be a certain calm, there has to be a certain semblance within oneself to take this forward. So we do that. Then we come to emotional. Now when I say emotional, it is not that we ask the child not to cry or not to get angry or not to fight, because these are things that happen anyway. In day-to-day life, it's not possible not to have these emotions. So what we do with them is to expose them how to manage their emotions. Then we talk about educating the mind. Now of course I can speak volumes for that, because educating somebody's mind is a huge responsibility that all of us have. So there we feel that the learner has to be willing, we need to identify that what kind of a learner is the learner. Audio learner, is the learner a visual learner, or a kinesthetic learner? Again, for all this, there is a certain amount of discipline that is needed, both on the part of the facilitator and the part of the learner. So again, yoga plays a very important role here. Then how the transaction of the lesson plans that the teachers do help the children to focus and understand what is happening. Then we move to the psychic and the spiritual being. Now again, it's a part where yoga plays a very important role, where the child is centered. When we talk about centering, you somewhere understand that, okay, this is me, you are aware about yourself, and then you anticipate, deal with certain situations in a better manner when you are exposed to yoga right from the beginning. So there are times when parents come and tell me that what is the meaning of psychic? What is the meaning of spiritual? These children are too young to even understand these two words. So there my explanation to them is that it starts at a very basic level, and this is tried and tested. It's happening. I started my school only with 8 children, and today we are almost 150 children. So, and this is in a span of 1 year. And we can already see the changes. Children who were extremely nervous, or who were too fidgety, or were not able to concentrate, after joining Matrikiran, not that I'm trying to praise myself, but it's just the work that we are doing, that parents feel that they are much better, they are more centered, they are peaceful in their movements, they are peaceful in the way they react and behave at home. There is a certain kind of cohesion that they have. They can be with each other and play with each other in a much nicer manner than they could do earlier before they joined Matrikiran. So when I say psychic and spiritual, it is their understanding of themselves, that what kind of a person am I? What does honesty mean to me? What is the meaning of truth? It's very easy, we invariably hear parents telling children, always speak the truth, never lie. But how do you understand what is truth? What is spirituality? So when we talk about, again, there are some people who feel that religion and spirituality, I don't want to get into that, but this is the universe and we have the 5 elements. So as long as you acknowledge those 5 elements, I think that's more than enough. And yoga has helped me tremendously in my school to achieve this. Even in fact, I forgot to mention that the day actually starts with the facilitators getting together. We meditate first in the morning. We all sit in a circle. We have we listen to some music. We do a little bit of sharing, and then we get into the classrooms. So if you were to come to the school, you will notice that there is a certain amount of calm, there is a certain amount of peace, there is a certain amount of flow. So anytime when a new person walks into the school, they always say there is something very positive, there's something very organic about the school. There is a certain amount of calm, and it's amazing that the vibes are very good. Now those vibes are good because there is yoga happening. Not only mainstream children, even children who are differently abled, who have different kind of needs, have benefited tremendously. In fact, there are some pictures to support this. That how, in fact, I'll take one example here. I have children with autism, I have children with Down syndrome, I have children who have certain amount of physical deformity, they lack a certain amount of balance. All these children have really come a long way with certain amount of asanas and certain amount of meditation and a certain amount of focus. In fact, I'd like to talk about one example here. There's this one child who, when she came to me, this was about a year and a half ago, she was not able to walk without support. I mean, she always needed support to just walk, forget about doing anything else. Today, this girl, with the help of yoga, is not only walking, she's climbing steps, she's running, she's participating in all the sports activities that we have. This is one example that I'm giving you. So all I want to say here, I can endlessly talk and speak volumes on this, but yoga has played a very important role in my school, and we have a curriculum that we follow. As I said in the beginning, that I don't want to get into asanas, but there are age appropriate asanas, and then we look at the endurance, because asanas are not going to change really, but we increase the duration, the endurance, and how a child is mastering that asana, that particular asana. In fact, when we have a sports day, which is an annual event, the children do showcase a couple of asanas, and it's amazing. I like to share some pictures with you, that certain postures they do with such perfection that it's like, you know, it's really a lovely feeling. And there are some children who even say that, sir, we've been inspired by what we do in school, so we even go home and practice. In fact, now Matrikiran is getting into starting again, not just an asana class, but a complete understanding of yoga even for parents. Parents are more than happy to take out time and be part of this program. Right from the beginning, see, yoga has always been a very, very major part of India. Somewhere we lost it, but it has been always there. It's just that now people are realizing that how important it is to see what are the problems that we face. Okay, I'll give you a very hypothetical example. My daughter, who is 22 years old, she's good at everything, you know, and she goes to the gym, she'll go for a walk, and she's all over the place and very energetic. So I have to sometimes tell her that, you know, you need to center yourself, you need to calm down, you know, you need to just you know, do some deep breathing, do some pranayama, do some brahmani. So, but the understanding is not there. I'll do it, you know, this is not important, I'll do it later, you know. So my point is that why people are emphasizing so much on yoga, that is the asanas. But for me, short of repeating myself, asana is one part. Yoga is actually living a life like that. So whether you're talking about values, you know, whether you're talking about how you look after yourself, everything comes under that. How do you treat people? What is your equation with the people who work for you? What, you know, how much truth and honesty pay, what kind of a role does it play in your life? How do you, what is respect? What is generosity? What is honesty? What is being straightforwardness? You know, so this is something that you need to basically live life consciously. Like for example, I'm now doing a project with my children where I'm exposing them to know how to build a house. If you are in a crisis situation, what will you do? Supposing you land up on an island, there's a plane crash and you are in a situation where you don't have anything. So how do you survive? How will you build a space for yourself? What will you wear? You know, how you depend on nature for these things. So this is an ongoing process. So that's the way I look at yoga. And that's the way yoga is everything. It's just a reflection. Every little thing that I do in school is yoga. In fact, it will be very nice if I take you to school. I'm quite tempted to take you to school. Would you like to go? See the space and take some pictures. I greet you all, and I wish you well, and I want you to have this faith that yoga is the way, is the only way to exist, and it should be a way of life, and just not asanas.